Today we are reviewing more crafting supplies and we are focusing on Dollar Tree paints. They have an entire section in their crafting aisle and we're going to test several of them, and I'm going to do different surfaces, a canvas, wood, as well as cardboard, which has a paper surface to it. That way we can give all of them a fair review, and I'm just going to use some of my own brushes. We're going to start with this one. It's an acryology. I think that's how you say it. And I picked the black color. I always see these. I never buy them. I'm not a fan of acrylic paint. I love chalk paint, so I'm looking forward to it. We're going to start with the cardboard, and we're just going to start painting. And my first impression was, wow. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but the coverage is actually really good. Even on the wood, you do not see the wood grain, even after it dried. Pleasantly surprised. Same with the canvas. Now, it was pure coincidence that this is the first one I picked. I've never tried this paint. I gotta say, very, very, very pleasantly surprised. And I'm going to give a star rating, but I'm going to do it at the end. We're going to move on to this Crayola paint. Again, a washable acrylic paint. I picked the color red. No reason why. They didn't have a black, so I'm just going to use the red. It comes in a nicely packaged container, I guess. You just remove the top, and then I'm going to shake it really well, and then place a brush, of course, and then we're going to paint. Now, I'm using my own brushes, and I'm trying to pick brushes that all have the same kind of bristles. That way it's a fair review. This one has great color. The color is beautiful, but the coverage is not as good as the first one we tried, even on the wood and the canvas, but it is still a pretty good paint for $1.25. Now, it is a very small container. That's one thing I didn't like. Other than that, I think the coverage is okay. It also has a beautiful red tone. We're going to move on to this other red one. This one's by Prang, and it has a much, much larger container. So you get more bang for your buck. I was excited to try it right next to this one because that way, hey, the size is significant. If they have similar color, similar coverage, I think this would be a better find. All right, we're going to shake it really well, and we're just going to put some in that tray. The colors are pretty close to each other, friends. I mean, I think one maybe has a little bit more of a pinkish tone, and that's the Prang. Other than that, coverage is very, very similar. So I think that if you needed a red paint and you wanted to spend $1.25, I would go with the Prang because it's just you get more bang for your buck. All right, moving along to this one here. Now, this one was very interesting. I wanted to get something with glitter, and I found two types. This is the first one. And this one I've seen all the time. I love the size of it. I think you get a lot for the price. It's pretty liquidy and almost like a gel. I was disappointed that there's no purple tint. It's actually just clear, and it does have a lot of purple glitter. Now, of course, you can use whatever color glitter you want. I think this would be great more as a top coat than an actual paint. But overall, I like the way it glides. I like the amount of glitter that it has. So yeah, we're going to compare it to these. These are actually considered poster paint. I don't even know what that means, but they come 6 in a pack. So you get more bang for your buck, at least in variety of colors. So in order to compare it to the other one, I'm going to pick the one that has a purple tone to it, just to kind of see how it compares. I shook it very well, and then I'm just going to grab a brush. Now it definitely has more of a purple tint. It's not clear. It is clearer. It's not, very pigmented, but it does have a purple tone. And the glitter is very subtle, very fine, and is not as textured. I did notice that right away. It glides very nicely. Again, it could be used as a top coat, but it's definitely more of a glaze feel than paint. And I like that it has a true purple tone and it's not misleading. All right, moving on to the watercolors. Again, I'm going to review all of these with star ratings in just a minute. This one is also from Dollar Tree, of course, and it's $1.25. First impression was no way. Like the paints were, look at that. The black one stuck to the paper. I didn't even notice. And I was like, oh, where did the black go? There it is. Anywho, everything was falling apart. The blue one was peeling off. The paintbrush, don't even get me started. It is plastic. It is just not a good quality. So we're going to wet one of my brushes and we're going to try it. So you see how the paint's just falling off of the container and it was just craziness. However, the pigment, pleasantly surprised. Watercolor, of course, is going to be very sheer. However, I think it had a lot of color. Now, this is me trying their brush, and it was just not worth it, friends. Don't even give it the time. Just throw it away. Anyways, we're going to try it on the wood. Same thing. I thought it had a lot of pigment. So, I think I like it. I like that it has pigment, but I just don't like the packaging, it's just falling apart and I just don't like it. So we're going to compare it to this other set, also again from Dollar Tree. I love that it has so much more selection of colors. I love the container. It looks like a little painter's, like paint, I don't know what you call it, plate. And I think it would be so cute if you're hosting a kid's birthday party. Love it. All right, so the paintbrush we're not even going to try. Actually, we did try it, but I was tempted not to because I knew it'd be bad. And that's me realizing, whoa, pigment, hello. Like what? This has so much color, especially for watercolor. Beautiful. I love the way it glides through the cardboard. Same with the wood, same with the canvas. And look at all the colors that it has. I am loving it. Now here's me again trying the brush to give a fair review. And I moved on very quickly because I didn't like it. So here it is on the wood. I really like, again, it does have that sheer look that watercolors have. But overall, I think it has really good coverage. Now, it doesn't have a cover. So for this one, you're just going to have to let it dry, maybe put it in a little Ziploc bag. But overall, very pleased with it. Moving on, we're going to do a fabric paint. I've seen these a lot. I don't use a lot of fabric paint, but we're going to give it a try. I picked the black one. I thought it'd be perfect. They did have that tone. So we're going to shake it really well. And we're going to open it up. Now, I quickly realized that it has a really fine point. And I realized that it's because it's so that you can write on fabric. If you're going to make a custom t-shirt, I think this would be a great project to do with your kiddos. I was writing just, my channel name, but oh boy, it was really easy to write with. Just make sure you don't squeeze a lot, but it's so fine on the top that not a lot of paint comes out. Now, to keep it fair, I am going to use it almost like paint just to kind of give you a better view. And my first impression is it just glides like ink instead of paint. It does not feel like paint, which makes sense because this is to, make t-shirts, I guess, or custom t-shirts. And I think it just works more like ink. I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but it looks like ink more than paint. Anyways, moving on. We're going to pick a piece of fabric here just to kind of give you an idea. The pigmentation is really good. It absorbs onto the fabric very good. The instructions does say that you have to let it sit for 72 hours and then you can wash it. And then if you have a new fabric, like a new t-shirt or whatever, you would have to wash it and let it air dry flat. So that's what it says. I'm going to make a little heart here with an I love you kind of situation, just so you can see how easy it is to also use it on the fabric. Very smooth. I think kids will love this to make their own custom t-shirts. And I like it. I think it's not a bad size for the price. And I think if you get multiple colors, it'd be fun. All right. My top pick for today will be this one right here. I really love the pigmentation of it. I love the size. You get so much paint for the price. And if you can get these for your kids, I think they'll have a blast. My daughter wants me to get her separate colors. So 5 stars for me on this one. Now, moving on to the praying and this one. Kind of somewhat reviewing these together, I guess, because they're the acrylic paints. So this one right here, I think I like it. It has a truer red tone than the other one, but it's a small packaging. So I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 because it doesn't have great coverage, but it doesn't also have a lot of paint in it. So I think that you can get more bang for your buck if you pick the other one. So this one is, again, right here. I like the pigmentation. Again, it's not the best, but it does have enough for the price, and it does have a lot of paint. The container is quite large, I feel, in my opinion. And I think if you're going to buy one or the other, I would go with the Prang rather than the Crayola. So those are my acrylic paints. And then we're going to move on to the kind of like glacy, glittery ones. This one, again, dries clear. It does have a lot of glitter in a color, and it does not come off. That glitter does not come off. But I was disappointed that it didn't have more pigmentation, the actual glaze or the actual paint. So that's why I gave it 3 out of 5. Now for this one, I like that it has more of a true purple color tone to it. The glitter does come off though. So I am giving this one a 3 out of 5 as well for different reasons. They're just not my style. If this is something you like for your crafts, I think great. But for me, I just don't know if I like that it's clear, and the other one just that the glitter comes off. Anyway, so watercolors. This one, I was surprised. I think it has a true black tone. I like that. That surprised me very well. I don't like the packaging at all, and that's why I'm giving it a 3 out of 5 stars. The fact that the paints were falling off, it was just a mess. So I guess the color is fine. Again, for the price, it's good, but I just don't know if I would buy it, especially if you have an option like this one. This one I was truly, truly surprised. Now it has a little bit more of a charcoal black than a true black color, but I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 because you get a lot of paint. The pigment is actually really good, and I like that it's easy to hold, and I think the kids will have a blast, or even you for your crafts. The brush is not good and it does not have a cover, so you have to let it dry and then maybe even place it on a baggie. All right, so for my fabric paint, pleasantly surprised again, just dried really nicely. Again, it's more like an ink rather than a paint, and it looks really well on the fabric. I am going to give it a 5 out of 5. I think it did well. It was easy to write with if you want to use it to customize t-shirts, pants, purses, whatever you want, book bags. How fun. And it comes in different colors, of course. You just pick the one that you like and you want to craft with. But I really love all of these. I'd love to know what you think and which one is your favorite. Let me know down in the comments. And I have another video here for you with another Dollar Tree review, so check this one out. I'll see you later and have a blessed day. Bye.